Not one, not two, but 5 different ways to refresh your hair. Refreshing has never been something that I love, but over the years, I have tried a bunch of different methods and I have come across 5 different methods that are pretty effective. Why do we refresh wavy curly hair instead of just washing it and styling it all over again? I'm glad you asked. It's because as a general rule, washing your hair every single day, getting it fully saturated, soaking wet, can cause a tad bit, not much, but a tad bit of damage in the form of high growth fatigue. Every time you get your hair fully saturated and wet, that hair cuticle swells up, and as it dries, it shrinks back down. Well, if you do that every single day, eventually there become stress fractures on the hair. So if we can avoid getting our hair fully soaking wet every single day, that can be a good thing. As it is 2023 and hair care products have evolved over time, there's no longer that issue of using really harsh stripping products and trying to avoid stripping our hair so much. So you could wash your hair every single day. Your products are going to be gentle enough for that, but the main concern is then the high growth fatigue problem. So another reason you might want to extend the time in between your washes is wavy curly wash days aren't that easy. If we're being perfectly honest, back in the day, I used to shampoo, condition, throw my hair up in a towel, take it down, aggressively brush it out, and blow dry it. And I had that routine down pat. I could be ready to walk out the door with fully washed, conditioned, and styled hair in 30 minutes. Now, the makeup and the getting dressed is a whole nother story, but the hair only took me 30 minutes. Doing a wavy curly wash day, while I do now have that down to about the same amount of time, it did take a lot of practice and it can take longer to style wavy curly hair, to diffuse it, all of that jazz. So refreshing your hair and extending the time in between wash days, getting more out of your wash day per se by not having to wash it as often, is why you would want to refresh. So that's why we're here. That's why we're doing 5 different kinds of refreshes. And today is the perfect day for me to show you this because this is hair that I did wash and style. If you have not seen my previous video, please go check it out. But that hair in that video is this hair, but on day 4. And I have been so mean to this hair. I have not preserved it well, I have not treated it nice, I have gone to the gym, I have helped someone move, like this hair's been pulled back with a ball cap on for maybe 2 days. So let's see how these refreshes, how effective they are at bringing back my waves and curls, because this is what it looked like on wash day. So this is what the hair is looking like 100% unrefreshed. You saw me take it down out of a lovely silk scrunchie. I love these things. Curl Friend Collective. They're ginormous, they're beautiful, they're cute, very undamaging, super high quality silk. If you haven't checked out Curl Friend Collective scrunchies, link in description, coupon code down below. This is what the hair is looking like just taken down out of that scrunchie. I have not brushed it. I have not detangled it. It's actually pretty okay. Why? Because I use mop top products and my hair really likes mop top products on wash day. And so it's like all nice and slickery, but we can see that it is very stretched out. The roots are not terrible. Honestly, it could be a lot worse, and it has been a lot worse. This is only mildly greasy. So this is our starting point. This is the control of what the hair looks like with no refresh versus 5 different kinds of refresh. I'm ordering these refreshes in order of time and effort that it takes. Least amount of time, least amount of effort first to the most intensive refresh possible. And in theory, the best refresh possible, because all good things take time and the hardest refresh takes the most time. Starting off, we are only going to be using a spray leave-in conditioner. Yes, a spray leave-in conditioner is perfect for refreshing your hair. You do not have to get it wet whatsoever, but as a general rule, people with wavy curly hair, their hair gets dry. It's just drier, and adding some conditioning agent to it can be quite beneficial. Honestly, this is something I should have been doing throughout this wash day. Probably should have done this on day 2, but I wasn't planning or thinking well. So all you have to do is add a few pumps to your hand. I really love the Miche spray leave-in conditioner because of the fragrance, and it contains silk amino acids. All I'm doing is smoothing this over rather aggressively and unprecisely, praying hands over the hair. If you wanted, you could do some sectioning. If you have some sections of your hair in the middle or underneath parts that are extra dry, and do a light scrunch. You can see that this initial kind of refresh really isn't wildly reactivating the waves and curls. Also, because I'm a little greasy, I'm going to add a tiny bit of curly hair friendly dry shampoo that has been my favorite for donkey's years. At this point is My Hair Dance Volumizing Dry Shampoo Powder. This contains colloidal oatmeal, which is fantastic for people with irritated scalps. You can see that while I'm kind of blonde, I have darker roots. I think they have a dark hair formula, but I've just always used the white one and never had an issue. Also, this dry shampoo has no drying alcohol in it, and it actually works better if you rub it in immediately. Some dry shampoos you have to like apply and then let sit for a certain amount of time so that they can soak up the oil. I haven't found that to be the case with this one. It's actually more effective if you just go ahead and rub it in. It's not the cheapest dry shampoo ever, but it is the longest lasting. I have had this product right here. It is 0.8 ounces of product. I've had this for like 3 years at this point, and I still haven't run out. I don't know how that's even possible, but that is the situation that I'm in. All right, I'm going to reorganize everything, and we're going to take another look at the lightest, minimalistest refresh as compared to where we started. All right. This is refresh number 1 compared to completely unrefreshed hair. There's no wild amounts of curl enhancement added to the hair, but my hair does feel softer. The dry, crispy feeling right on the very ends of my hair here in the back have been calmed down thanks to the spray leave-in conditioner. My roots are volumized and degreased, and I'm good enough to walk out the door. This refresh isn't gonna work for everybody. This is for people who just want to knock down the frizz and take care of a tiny bit of oily scalp issue. The next refresh you may wanna try is a steam refresh. I have had this Vanity Fair facial steamer for quite a while. They were kind enough to send it to me, and it works really, really well. You may be asking yourself, can I just use a clothing steamer? Please don't. Some people do, and they get great results, and it works for them. And as a general rule, clothing steamers tend to be more cost effective than a facial steamer. Like, these can be kind of spendy. These are more affordable. However, these get incredibly hot, and you don't want to be putting steam that hot on your hair. You're gonna boil your hair. Don't do it. Instead, facial steamer, or you could steam refresh your hair in the shower. For the sake of this video, I'm going to be doing it with my Vanity Fair facial steamer. Yay. Ooh, that's majestic. I'm just setting it here on my counter. Actually, I'm gonna prop it up on a Kleenex box so it's a little bit higher. And I'm just gonna let this steam hit my hair for a minute. Really not gonna be doing much. Honestly, I've done this in the morning while I'm putting on makeup. And you wanna know something? Like, my makeup goes on real pretty when I steam refresh my hair. it like melts into my skin. It's actually kind of a makeup hack for me. And there you have it. And that is it for the steam refresh. Let's compare it to the 100% unrefreshed hair. Not too much of a difference, but if we're really paying attention, there is more curl activation that is happening now in an area where it was completely stretched out before. I did not do this for very long. In theory, if I did it for just a bit longer and got the hair just a slightly bit more damp with the steam refresh and then let it fully dry, you would see the absolute full benefit and result. But as I'm kind of sort of moving on to the next refresh, I feel like this gives you enough of an idea of what steam reactivation could do for you. If you were to do the steam refresh in the shower, you would just have your hair up in the overnight pineapple, get in the shower, do all the shower things, and while the shower was still super steamy, take out the hair from the overnight pineapple and just kind of shake it out in the steam. In case you're over on Instagram, Hans Curls talks about this one. She has a really good video of her hair before and after. It's kind of cool. Steam refreshing works really well on her, and it's kind of fun to see her transformation. Next, we're gonna do a dry foam refresh. This one's great because you don't add any water to your hair. You're not dealing with the high growth fatigue situation, and it's pretty fast. But it does require you to diffuse the product into your hair, which does add a little bit of time to your life, your routine. So there's that. And now I'm gonna diffuse it. And here's the hair diffused. I diffused my hair for like maybe 2 minutes and it's pretty dry. Is it a little scary looking? Yes, it is. But guess what? Every wash day is a little bit scary looking till you scrunch out the crunch, and there's a tiny bit of crunch. So let's just go ahead and scrunch it out. If you wanted, you could add a little bit of oil to your hair to scrunch out the crunch. You may find that you don't need that on wash day, but maybe on refresh days, if you scrunch out the crunch, you need a little bit of oil. Totally fine. Makes sense. I'm going to take a comb and kind of not brush it through. I'm just kind of placing the roots, I guess. And here is a dry foam refresh compared to completely unrefreshed hair. For me, these dry foam refreshes don't get super clumpy. It gives serious India Batson vibes, and there are days when I just want to look like her. So I do a dry foam refresh and I get to look like her. Now, let me show you the refresh that I relied on so much while my hair was in transition. What I mean by that is I went from exclusively flat ironing, heat styling my hair to embracing my waves and curls and giving up heat completely. There's a time period when you do that your hair looks like complete and utter garbage. One, because you are learning how to style it wavy curly, and that's kind of tricky because everybody's hair is different. So it takes a minute to figure all that out. And during that time, you're gonna look bad. Also, your hair is recovering from the years of heat damage and it's slowly becoming healthier and healthier. And as it becomes healthier, it wants to behave more and curl better, but it's also incredibly finicky during the transition phase. This is the only refresh I could do during the transition phase, and it is called the Marisa's Refresh. Named after Marisa's Curls over on Instagram. She came up with it and she is awesome. What you're gonna do is hope your spray bottle works. You're just gonna get your hands barely wet and smooth the water over and scrunch. Too much water, too much water. Now my spray bottle's working. You are smashing all of the curls and really trying to pull all the curl out. And then you scrunch it and the curls come back. You're just gonna keep doing this till your hair is decently wet. And it takes some time. There's something about spraying the water directly on your hair that just does not work when your hair is in transition. But smoothing the water over kind of pulls all the frizz down and your curls back into their curl families. If Prayer Hands product application works really well for you, there's a good chance that Marisa's Refresh of getting your hands wet and like smashing it into your hair is going to work really, really well for you. This is a bit more time intensive. It takes more time. And you are also getting your hair slightly wet, obviously. So there is the hygral fatigue issue. The more damp you get your hair, the longer it's gonna take to dry, but also the more damp you get your hair, the more your waves and curls are gonna come back. So you're kind of balancing all of this as you do this refresh. Maybe you only need to do just a few sprays. Maybe your hair is insanely porous and soaks up water and product for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, so you kind of have to add a ton of water to it and really take your time here adding water. My hair is eating the water. It's not getting wet. Today is just one of those days. I am really fighting the urge to just spray the water on my hair, but I'm demoing Marisa's Refresh. Also, you don't have to spray the water into your hands. You could just turn on your sink. My sink is right here, but I'm not leaving the water running in the background so that you can hear me chattering away and chit-chatting. So you just get to listen to the sounds of the spray bottle. Your hair, see, like we're not so damp that it will squish really, but it is almost to the point where it's like squishing because of the amount of water that's in it. There are places in my hair that are still pretty dry, like right at my roots, but the ends are 50% damp. You could, at this point, add a gel You could add a pea-sized amount of gel to your hands, soaking wet hands, glaze that over, scrunch it in. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to micro-plot my hair with a towel, microfiber towel, just a tiny bit to squeeze out a tiny bit of excess water from my hair. And I'm gonna diffuse and show you the results. And here we are, 100% dry after the Marisa's refresh. Let me turn around and show you the back so we can compare it side by side with 100% unrefreshed hair. You can see that a ton of curl has been brought back. The curl enhancement is coming through, especially in the back, not so much in the front, but that's besides the point. However, there's a reason I don't love refreshing, and it's the frizz. I have to get up real close and personal in y'all's business for you to be able to see it. So from far away, I look fine. It's cute. It's totally okay. But as a general rule, as a personal preference, I prefer refresh number 1 that I showed you with just the spray leave-in conditioner and some dry shampoo. That just tends to be my preference. I'm not here trying to get all the curl enhancement all the time. Marisa's refresh works best on tighter curl patterns than mine. My wavy hair tends to frizz really badly when I do this particular refresh. But we have one more refresh to do today, and it is called the Curl by Curl Refresh, wherein you just spot refresh certain areas. This would work better on a wash day wherein I used like 3 different products and had lots of curl enhancement, similar to what I did in my best new product combo video, wherein I used the Marc Anthony Mousse, Kinky Curly Curling Custard, and the Briogeo gel all in my hair. I get really shiny, soft, smooth, defined curl clumps that last for a few days, but like on day 3, I may need to grab some curls and spot refresh. So let me show you how you do that. First off, you pick a curl that's just looking kind of sad. Like it kind of took a nap and never really woke up. Have you ever taken a nap on like a Sunday and it's like a really solid nap and you just don't recover, you don't wake back up? I do that a lot. This is why I don't nap. Okay, so I've gotten this curl pretty wet and I can actually feel a decent amount of product in my hair from the foam, dry foam refresh. So I'm not gonna add any product to my hair, but again, you totally could grab a tiny bit of gel and add it to your hair. You just wanna make sure that your curl clump is pretty saturated. Then you're going to take your favorite brush. I'll give you 3 guesses as to what my favorite brush is. Just kidding, the Bounce Curl Defining Brush. I've really been loving this lately. You are going to gently brush out this wet curl clump. There should be enough slippery styling product in your hair that you're not gonna be causing any damage. And then, oh, I'm also not the best at brush styling curls, so forgive me. There we go. You can't really see it, but it's really spirally. Give it a little scrunch. Then pick another curl that you feel the deep need to refresh. Sure, this one. It looks sad and tired. Typically, the curl by curl refresh is only done on face framing pieces. You could do it in the back if you have like one curl that you know is just gonna fluff and frizz. Maybe on wash day you have the world's most terrible time ever getting it thoroughly saturated with product. And you just know that you're gonna have to spot refresh that curl, you can do a curl by curl refresh on that curl. There we go. Little scrunch is coming back to life. You can see it's nice and ribbony. Let's do one on this side. Hold on, we're gonna grab all of these sad, stringy pieces. This feels like more than one curl. Hold up. We're gonna have to do this in 2 sections. Okay, sad, floofy, undefined, frizzy piece. Spray your face with the water. Smooth that curl down. There should be enough product in your hair that you are not damaging your hair. Enough product to cause slip for your hair. Also, Bounce Girl Dividing Brush is super gentle, which is why I'm doing this. You could also just brush through, give it a shake, instead of wrapping it around the brush. One curl. Can you see we saved the most labor-intensive refresh for the last? Hold on, let's see if I can wrap this around the brush. There it goes, there it goes. I don't do this particular curl by curl refresh very often at all. There we go. There, ooh, that turned out good. Can we see it? I will highlight it on the white door for you. There. Now, for the sake of your viewing pleasure, I'm gonna stop there. You get the idea. You could go in curl by curl and refresh. I could keep going, but that would take quite a bit of time, and I value your time. And am super grateful that you chose to hang out with me today for today's video. If you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it. It really does help me out, so I'm selfishly asking you to please give it a thumbs up if it was helpful. What is your favorite way to refresh? Let us know in the comments down below. Share your refresh knowledge and love in those comments, because there may be a whole new method of refresh out there that I am unaware of. These are the 5 that I have come across that are the absolute most effective. But y'all know, my thing is not refreshing my hair. My thing is going ahead and washing and styling my hair, or just really rocking a mom bun. That tends to be what I do. But if I am gonna refresh, I will use one of these 5 methods. As always, I sure hope you are having an absolutely fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.